seconds and see how they react.
Oh, the numbers are nice and big for both teams. That is very important. They don't try to get cute with bad color schemes. It's just blue on white and gold on blue.
Especially since they could wear gold with blue numbers, which is awful. I'm sure they do sometimes.
Yep.
Crazy.
I know.
Crazy. How about you?
Busy.
Busy.
Are you okay with my monitor being stopped?
Remember to look at that. Not there.
Yeah.
Welcome to Durham for the start of the women's college soccer season, and we have a tournament preview tonight at Koskinen Stadium. Number 4 Duke, high expectations for the Blue Devils, and a reigning Big 12 champion in West Virginia. Little ACC Big 12 battle and plenty of fun here on this Thursday night to kick off the college soccer season. Alongside the former North Greenville defender, Brian Hand, I'm EvanBudrovich. Anytime you have tournament teams playing in day one, what should we expect with the start of the college soccer season?
That anything can happen. You know, you got two good teams out here tonight, but anything can happen, and it's going to be fun.
These programs have a lot of accolades, but let's start with West Virginia. A.J. Rodriguez, the senior midfielder, she helps this offense flow for West Virginia. What must she do tonight?
She's going to be do a little bit of everything for West Virginia. She's a spark plug. She makes West Virginia go. You can see they're all Big 12 second team last season. 5 goals, was tied for the first on the team. And you know, if West Virginia is going to walk out of here with a road win, they're going to need a lot of A.J. Rodriguez tonight.
46 games of experience for A.J. And conversely for Duke, it's a young streak. The reigning freshman of the conference in the ACC, Kat Rader. How does she help the Blue Devils offensively?
And everything. Rader can do everything for the Blue Devils. You look at it right there. The ACC Freshman of the Year, top drawer soccer freshman, best 11, first team member. You see the header. You see she scoring with her feet, scoring with her head. She can do a little bit of everything with her, and also 12 goals. Tied second in the NCAA among freshmen last season. They expect a little bit more during her sophomore campaign.
And she knows how to celebrate. That's the most important part with a Selly. We'll have starting lineups and opening kick when we return to Durham. Start of the college soccer season after this.
Thank you. And now for the starting lineup. First visiting West Virginia Mountaineers. Number 2, St. Thomas.
Got the spot in your head.
Yeah, good call.
Let's do it.
Good. You ready?
Oh, yeah. I'm always ready. Welcome to Durham for the start of the women's college soccer season. We have a tournament preview tonight at Koskinen Stadium. The Duke Blue Devils, number 4 team in the country, looking to get back to a College Cup, and West Virginia, the reigning Big 12 champs. This has all the potential to be a fun night here in Durham. Well, welcome to Koskinen Stadium with the former North Greenville defender, Brian Hand. I'm EvanBudrovich. Anytime two tournament quality clubs meet in a matchup like this, what should we expect from this situation?
That anything can happen. It's going to be fun. It's the first night of the season. Expect crazy, but it's going to be fun.
And there are some talented women on these two rosters. For West Virginia, A.J. Rodriguez, the senior midfielder, what makes her special for the Mountaineers?
She's a spark plug. She does a little bit of everything for West Virginia. You see right there, 5 goals last year, all Big 12 second team selection. Rodriguez has to do a lot if the road win's going to become attainable for West Virginia tonight.
Conversely, for the Blue Devils, a talented freshman last year, Kat Rader, all ACC as a freshman. How does she take that step here in year 2?
And she's going to need to. Nothing less is expected, right? Rader had a great year last year, ACC Freshman of the Year. Top drawer soccer freshman, best 11 team. You can see it with her do with her feet. She can do it with her head. She can do a little bit of everything for the Duke Blue Devils. 12 goals last year, tied second NCAA among the freshmen. She's going to need a little bit more this year during her sophomore campaign, but they expect her to do just that.
And she can dance, the most important part of the celly at the end of a great goal. We got two powerful clubs. Tournament matchup getting things started. We'll come back with lineups and opening kick here in Durham.
Okay. Yes. Corey, we got 45 seconds to kick off. 45 seconds. I'll let you know.
What a beautiful night here in Durham. The humidity has finally gone to rest. It's time to play some soccer and get this party started. Number 4 Duke and the reigning Big 12 champs, West Virginia. Starting lineups for both squads, certainly plenty of talent. And we'll know throughout this broadcast, Duke has graduated and moved on 4 key starters to the NWSL, but all of a sudden, a young, talented group. What do you want to expect out of this Duke? Who should we look out for the Blue Devils?
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of quality. I think there's a lot of people that you can look at in this lineup, but I think you got to start with the goalkeeper, Leah Freeman. Right there, you see the 2022 Pac-12 Goalkeeper of the Year. That is a correct stat. She was at Oregon, but now she's here for Duke and just adds more to the quality of this top 4th-ranked Duke team.
course, Kat Rader, the leading returning scorer for the Blue Devils, with Michelle Cooper onto the NWSL. And for West Virginia, with Coach Nikki Izzo Brown, talented program. This is a group that wants to be fast, wants to be aggressive, returns 8 starters, has one of the best goalkeepers in the country at Massey back there for the Mountaineers.
Yeah, and then you see they're going to run that 4-3-3. And then a lot of quality on this. I think they feel a little disrespected and maybe not being nationally ranked heading into the year. But you look at Massey, the best thing about her, so athletic. You see there the Big 12 co-goalkeeper of the year last year. You're going to see some athleticism. You're also going to see her do a little bit of everything with the distribution, but it should be a fun matchup. And, you know, there's a reason we highlighted the goalkeepers tonight.
Keep an eye out on the true freshman, Olivia Schertzer, up there up top offensively. Now on the back end of it, think of how good Keza Mazzi has been. 10 shutouts last year. This West Virginia team was solid defensively all year long.
They were very much for, and that's who they are. They're going to grind it out. They're going to be gritty. That's what they're. When I ask them, how do you want to be described? That's exactly what you said. Gritty, going to get after you and going to make you work for everything. And expect Duke to see that tonight from the Mountaineers.
Two programs that met 2 years prior. That was in Morganton. Now they return to Durham for the 7th all-time meeting. Blue Devils and Mountaineers. The college soccer season is finally off. The race to the College Cup. It all begins tonight. And these programs know how to win. West Virginia's been to a tournament 22 of the last 23 years, and Duke 4 College Cup appearances. Who can start their ticket off tonight with a nice performance? And here are the Mountaineers, who defeated TCU in the Big 12 tournament final. Mountaineers went 1-1 in the tournament. Duke, meanwhile, went to overtime in the Elite Eight, almost to the College Cup. And it's not rebuilding, it's reloading when you talk about this Duke Blue Devil program.
Yeah, and then some. There's a lot expected. I mean, 4 may be a little high for what they have to replace, but at the same time, they've earned that from what they've done over the last few years. We talked about it from the outset. This is a Duke program that has a lot in place, and that's as much as anything. You don't see a lot of a team that's picked 4th nationally and then picked in the top 4 or 5 range in their own preseason poll in their conference. It just shows that there are a lot of expectations, but also some realities with that, and how good the ACC is as well.
It's a good job playing it back by Mackenzie Ongst. A little trouble there for Massey, the all-conference keeper. That was one of the strengths of the new Duke goalkeeper, Leah Freeman, her boot to send the ball forward.
Yeah, a big part of it. One of the things that they wanted to highlight is that she does that good distribution. That's such a big thing today with the goalkeepers. This is a new game. When I played, it was, you know, the goalkeepers picked it up, rolled it out, or booted it. Now you want distribution, you want the long boot with the kick, but it's not going to go off a drop kick or anything like that. So it's just a different game, and distribution matters so much.
See West Virginia with a high line of press. Makes life tough for Freeman, who clears it away. How does that press play a factor for the Mountaineers team?
Yeah, you got to get back quickly. It's going to allow Duke to counterattack, as you're seeing right here. But also it's going to make sure that Duke does things greatly out of the back, because you have to do, and I use that word on purpose, you have to be great with your ball possession in the back. And Laguerre has the ball right here.
Gary sends it in. Promising opportunity and a first test for Massey coming out from her posts.
Yeah, really nice ball over the top, and a really nice idea from the Blue Devils to make that happen early on.
Keza Mazzi, who has no fear in the eyes of her head coach, Nikki Izzo Brown. Developed a ton last year, but goalkeeper coach Eric Beltran. And she now had the most saves in the country last year as a goalkeeper. Tremendous. Good press there by Duke, forcing a turnover. And there's A.J. Rodriguez. She is everywhere on the field for this Mountaineer program.
Yeah, that's why I said spark plug, right? She's somebody that's going to be everywhere, and you need her to be everywhere if you're West Virginia.
If you were to track the mileage, and these programs do, Rodriguez will run more than any player for WVU.
Yeah, there's no doubt in that, and that's just who she is. And you know, I said that speaks to who West Virginia is as a team. They're going to work you.
Now you see Duke pressing high forward. 15 wins last year for the Blue Devils and high expectations. That's why Robbie Church thought this first week was so important. Wisconsin, USC, and West Virginia, all tournament caliber teams in the opening week.
One of the nice things that he did was set up the exhibition schedule the way they did. We can talk a little more in the future, but when you set up an exhibition with the talent and teams that they played, it sets you up for playing a talented team like West Virginia in the opener.
We'll play a perennial top 16 program in South Carolina and then a league foe in Wake Forest. Robbie Church was pleased with the scoring in those 2 outings. Couple of wins, although they are exhibitions.
But a win's a win. It doesn't matter what, it gives you confidence. And, you know, this time of year, confidence can go a long way, to be honest. You get a foul here.
That's a push in the back for Elle Piper, the sophomore to San Jose, California. She had a busy summer playing for the San Francisco Glens of the USL. Had multiple teammates play out here on the West Coast.
So important to get that work during the summer in different ways, but you got to put it in no matter what.
That's a promising cross in. Redirected off the post. And what a promising shot for Delaria Heredia Beltran. Well, we almost had fireworks in the first 5 minutes.
Very early, a half chance that was almost executed for West Virginia just went off the woodwork.
An opening opportunity for the Mountaineers, who scored just under 2 goals a match last year. Duke was high scoring 46 goals in the season. Everyone looking to catch St. Louis. The Billikens averaged 3.5 goals a night to lead the country last year.
Yeah, that's getting after it. That's putting in the work to put some goals. I'd be interested to see the defensive stats as well.
Gary wins possession, gives it right back. How about this opportunity for West Virginia? Nearly the opening goal for Beltran.
Yeah, we mentioned it was a half chance. Got a nice ball in, and you mentioned just off the woodwork. Freeman outstretched as much as she can be. Connected well, got over the ball, and just off the post.
Delaria can score at 5 goals in her tenure, 43 appearances. Big shoes to fill. Lauren Segalia, the top scorer from last year, moving on to the professional ranks. Rodriguez, of course, a big piece back. But that is the question. Where's the scoring going to come from for Coach Izzo Brown? You talked with both coaches this week. The value of having that secondary and tertiary scoring, that'll be huge for these clubs this year.
Yeah, it will. And I mean, you know, that's really what you're trying to figure out in all of college soccer is where you're going to get those. Really, at the pro level, we see it all the time. It's how are we going to get those secondary goals? Because, you know, sometimes you know you're going to get it from your number 9 or your number 10, but are you going to get it from your 6? Are you going to get it from other people on the field? And I think that that's what they're all trying to fill out right now. And they both felt like that they're in a good place with that entering the season.
Of course, Michelle Cooper, one of the top scorers in the country, 19 goals last year for Duke. This will stay on side for Kat Rader. The All-ACC returner gets a trippage, and that is just outside the box. Risky play there for Valderon.
Very much so, but it's also the epitome of what Rader provides for this Duke team. Kind of something out of nothing. She kind of lulled them to sleep, and then she gets a free kick opportunity, a dangerous set-piece opportunity for the Blue Devils.
One thing Robbie Church has noted, Kat Rader's not afraid to shoot, and she is aggressive here in the first 10 minutes.
It'll be interesting to that point. Do you shoot from right here? Or are you going to try to make something? I think she'll probably try to shoot and see if they can get a rebound off of it from this angle, particularly with how athletic Massey is.
After a 12-goal freshman season, here's Rader. Sends it in front post, just over the upright. A promising effort from the sophomore.
Yeah, exactly kind of what I thought she would do in that situation. Just got over it a little bit too much. We talked about West Virginia on the other side. We did a great job of getting over the ball, and she got under it too much right there as we take a look at Coach Church.
And that'll help Robbie Church, who replaces a Matt Kerman Award performer. How about Robbie moving into his 23rd year here at Duke? Consistently 10, 15 wins a season, and fresh off here, they were top 5 in the RPI. You said, yes, we're young, but I think at the end of the year, we could be just as talented as our teams in 17 and 15 in the College Cup.
Yeah, one of the things that really stuck out to me that he said is that he mentioned and was very candid about it is that he said, we've been some of the best teams in the country. We've been number 1 in the country during the season. We want to be the best team at the end of the year, and that's what he's trying to get this Duke program to. And he's almost been at that precipice many, many times, as you saw right there, but they're just missing out on that national title. That's the only thing that's missing from his resume and for the resume for Duke women's soccer, and they're right there. And I think they got the talent and the recruiting classes to continue to build towards that over the future.
Well, Piper plays it back. We're seeing Duke now test the back line of West Virginia.
One thing that's important about this, what they're doing right now, is that you were asking about the press earlier. When you lull them to sleep like this, it sets up opportunities such as this.
Rader onside. One-on-one with Valderon. Patient. Mr. Target there on Laguerre. Look at weaving through 5 defenders. Maggie Graham centers, and it's released. Risky cross in before Moreau could knock it out. And how about that pass by Duke to set it up?
Yeah, asking a lot of questions right now of this West Virginia defense, and you know, not able to get it to go into the back of the net right there. But those are the types of crosses you got to play right now to see if you can get somebody to get a foot on it and test the goalkeeper.
That is not a handball. Our lead referee, Corey Rockwell. Duke was asking for it. Kind of feels like now each team can take their breath 10 minutes into this season opener.
Yeah, and I don't think I expected anything different. I think we kind of expected them to come out, fill each other out, but also have some half chances. Both teams have really had a couple good chances, and I think we'll settle down a little bit, but we'll see who can find the back of the net first, obviously.
What a busy assignment for fifth-year senior Julianne Valderon. Out of Quebec, one of 4 Canadians having a guard, Kat Rader, the ACC Freshman of the Year.
Yeah, it's kind of impressive to see that there's more players from Canada than any other state on this West Virginia team. You don't see that often.
13 different states.
Yeah.
Coach Nikki Izzo Brown. She is a busy recruiter with her staff.
You can call yourself a national and international program with the Canadians as well with that kind of thought process for sure.
More impressively, assistant coach Marissa Cannella, 14 years, Lisa Stoya, 17 years, and Nikki Izzo Brown founded the women's program here at West Virginia.
Yeah, basically graduated college, coached one program at West Virginia Wesleyan, was there for a year, and then, all right, let's start the West Virginia program. Been there ever since. So that's about as impressive as it gets to me.
Now in year 28. She has a talented squad, picked 4th in the Big 12 behind one of the national powers in BYU. There's Laguerre with some space. Rader off that left flank, gets in. Rader shoots and delivers! What an opening goal for the sophomore Kat Rader.
And that's just a wow moment. She almost hit it earlier on that free kick opportunity, and right there, fully took advantage, leans back, sets back, hits it into the upper 90. Just an exquisite goal for Rader to start the season.
Accolades aplenty for Rader. She's lived up to it here in this performance.
Yeah, had 2 goals against that top 15 team you mentioned the other day in exhibition against South Carolina. Started the season with a goal here, just exactly what we expected from Rader, and that's why we talked about her from the outset. As you look at that, just hit the ball, and even hit it with insole outside. That's just beautifully done.
Now that's how you get it done in year 2. There's the Selly, and there's Coach Church. He said, hey, we got Michelle Cooper last year with a Mac Herman Trophy Award. We may have another candidate in the young sophomore.
She's got the ability over the next couple of years, for sure. If not this year, in the future. She's that type of player, and they know what they got in Kat Rader.
Now, how does this match change if you're West Virginia falling behind by a goal?
And I'm interested to see, because of the way they play, do you press or do you lean back? Because you know what Duke's going to do, because they're going to keep pressing you. But do you have to step back and see if you can be opportunistic, or do you stay with what you're going to do over the next 10 minutes? I think we won't know that answer until we find out over the next few minutes.
There's a promising Wren for Schertzer. And she does earn the throw-in for West Virginia.
And that's not to delay your question, it's just the truth. You don't know how they're going to react because it's so early in the season. You have to see. I would expect them to continue to press, but we'll just have to wait and see.
There's Nikki Izzo Brown, 338 wins in her tenure. Now in the top 15 all-time for Division I women's coaches. These are 2 legends tonight, Robbie Church and Nikki Izzo Brown. And look at this promising ball. Rader is onside. A goal a moment ago for the sophomore. Shimmies, gets space. Now the convoy of defenders. Look at this shot. That is deflected and forced out for a corner. Rodriguez might have saved a goal right there.
Very much so. And then, but I do want to point out that was some great defense by West Virginia to stop Rader right there from a scoring opportunity as we have a player down.
Devin Lynch had a great shot, and then A.J. Rodriguez sprinted in at the last second.
Yep.
It's the heart and soul of this West Virginia club in the eyes of Nikki Izzo Brown. We run through A.J. Now a promising corner for the sophomore Devin Lynch. Duke heads it back in. Laguerre wants a deflection. She won't get it that time.
Yeah, right idea, though, just to see if she can make something out of nothing.
Nikki Izzo-Brown, who made it back to the NCAA tournament last year. How about this? Never had a losing season and has only missed the tournament once in the last 25 years.
Yeah, and played for a national championship. I mean, like, done a little bit of everything you mentioned. When you can say that and you've been the only coach in the history of the program, you know you've had a storied career. Just a perfect person to lead that program.
The program that wants to get back to the tournament. They were a second-round departure just a year ago. Duke continues to high press. And resulting in a turnover. There's Brewster picking it up. Now Rodriguez plays it forward, looking for the speed of Taylor White. There's White one-on-one. And there's just nowhere to go if you're Taylor here.
Yeah, good execution defensively from the Blue Devils, staying with their assignment. That's so hard to do with the type of quality that West Virginia has up front.
Taylor White out of Cincinnati, Ohio, had a couple of assists last year as a freshman. Now expected to be big minutes in year 2. There's Annika Leslie, stopper at Nova Scotia for the Mountaineers. Now Maddie Moreau, the LSU transfer, plays it forward. Just not able to connect on those passes.
They're going to have to be way more crisp if they want to ask the right questions of this Duke defense, especially as compact as Duke's playing in those situations. If they're going to stay in their assignment and stay in their lanes like they are like that, it's going to be really tough. So you're going to have to be very concise and see if you can open up Duke a little bit if you're West Virginia.
That's the presence of Loza, the UCLA transfer, and Rodriguez continuing to push forward. There's a promising chance. Schertzer turns and deflected. It's touched by Bailey Brewster for the corner.
Yeah, it was a really nice job by Schertzer just to keep moving the ball a little bit, see if you can get something going with it. Take a look at it right here, taking the half chance. This is the half chance we were alluding to. You see it right here, able to kind of go. She probably could have hit it a little bit earlier, but trying to find more of an opening as she rolled the ball over one more time. But
that was a smart play, too, to shield off the defender. That creates a lot of space.
Very much so.
Taken by West Virginia's number 18, Delari Heredia.
There's Delari Heredia Beltran as she hit the crossbar a moment ago. Sends it in. Promising header into the mitts of the Oregon transfer. First save for the new keeper, Leah Freeman.
Yeah, way too open was that for the header if you're the Duke coaching staff. Great job by West Virginia to find the opening on the inverse of that, though.
That's Valderon, the right back, who will come forward offensively for West Virginia, shifting more into a 3-woman defense at times. Look at the pressure there on Freeman. Rodriguez is tripped. Have to be careful here if you're Duke defensively.
This is all by design. Look at this. She's rolling out and over. Just went over her head, but good job, as you mentioned, by Valderon, just kind of finding that opening and getting her head on, but just couldn't get it in the back of the net.
Valderon is an excellent winner of the header. She had a big header against Texas last year. Another top 10 program. The Big 12 has a really good soccer conference all of a sudden with BYU and UCF joining out of the American.
And they were good before, but you're exactly right. You add those to them, and then, you know, with even more coming, and you know, it's going to be a really, really, really good league.
TCU at 9, Texas at 15, BYU in the top 12.
You're exactly right there. That, you know, I think if you haven't been paying attention, the Big 12 is right there. ACC is the best, but like the SEC is not too far behind either. There's just really good college soccer in this region.
Duke, one of 5 top 10 teams for this Atlantic Coast Conference. Everyone chasing UCLA, the reigning champs. That's the big dogs on campus. And as a USC alum of the Trojans, I do give mad respect to a team that wins a national title.
As you should. What a game that was. But yeah, for sure. They deserve it right now, but there was a lot of teams this year. I think that on the women's side, it's completely wide open for whoever's going to walk away with the national championship this year. There's
Valderon again, creating some nice space. That is a congested box inside the 18. This Duke club only surrendered 23 goals in 23 matches. That really speaks to their defensive mentality.
Yeah, and then when you score that much more, almost double that offensively, as we know they did last year. We talked about those numbers earlier. It just speaks to the, you know, that's why you win a lot of games, when you can do both well.
Opportunity for West Virginia. Beltran is trapped and wants a foul here. Play continues as El Piper defensively. Now Piper comes back into play. Look at Rader all by herself down that left flank. Asking for it. Instead, it's Lynch.
Watch the pass back. Side on, deep, side on.
Laguerre turns. Makes a play on it. And Massey comes sprawling out of her 6-meter to save that one.
Yeah, and that's the athleticism we were talking about. That's very impressive to get out that quickly.
One of the most athletic goalkeepers in the country, Kazza Massey, 57 starts, experienced, all Big 12 caliber. Last year, the challenge for West Virginia was almost being too athletic or too aggressive if you're Massey, and this year a big growing curve for the goalkeeper of the year.
Yeah, and she, you know, her head coach told us when we were talking to her that she's really grown in that. Distribution's got a lot better. She's working through it, playing a little bit more fluid, trying to let the game come to her. And, you know, that's a big deal is in her growth, because she's got a bright future, not just this year, but in the professional ranks as well.
Two-time All-Big 12 goalkeeper, and as we've seen, that the route to the NWSL is much more prominent for both of these programs.
Yeah, I mean, you look at it, we started with some of these conversations earlier about, hey, we were replacing this, there's a lot of things. We haven't hit on everything. But you look at it, they're all going to the pros, or they're either going into grad school to be a doctor or something like that. There's just a lot of talent on both of these programs. It's incredibly impressive what they've been able to do, and there's a reason that they're always in those positions, and we can spout off those numbers of how many times they've been in the NCAA tournament and College Cup and all those things, because they're doing things the right way.
So Duke with the early goal from Kat Rader in the 11th minute. Now applying more pressure. There's a nice run for Maggie Graham, who stays on side. Plays it back to Rader. And the way Duke can pull those defensive lines back, it really opens up the field for the Blue Devils. Piper with a tough touch, and she lost it.
Unable to connect right there, but that's what West Virginia can do. And you know, you can't be heavy on your touches, because you know they can make you pay. Couldn't connect right there, but that was showed exactly what West Virginia wants to do.
A West Virginia team that has a busy slate coming up. Penn State, top 25 program, head to Virginia in the end of August. So difficult non-conference slate. Now Laguerre with Rader all by her lonesome. What an assignment for Valderon defensively. Whoa, look at Rader spin through. And a nice defensive play. Maya McCutcheon comes storming in. Watching Rader has messy tight feels, the way she can manipulate the ball like that.
And that's exactly what she did. If you look at her here, just like Messi, she kind of hangs out on the side. She goes to that right foot, and Messi obviously goes to his left. But with her, she'll juke you. She'll see if she can make something happen. Great job on the help defense right there from West Virginia. You're going to need a lot of that, as you see that Rader was named the preseason All-ACC team. We mentioned everything that she did last year, and you know, there's a lot more we can say.
And Robbie Church noted that Rader's ready for this moment, right? Because Cooper's the Mac Herman winner. She's a 19-goal scorer. Kat's now not afraid to be the top striker and an option for this team.
No, and she still put up, 12 goals last year herself, so it's not like she didn't score a lot either, with Cooper having 19 goals. She still had a lot of production last year with that, but now they're going to be keying on her, so it's going to how she responds to just that.
She had the 11th minute goal for Duke early in this first half. Now Piper chips in. Opportunity for Duke. Rader nearly has it. And it's cleared out at the last moment. Now a tussle outside the 18. How about the pressure that Duke placed on this opportunity?
Yeah, good ball into the box. Rader finds a smidge of an opening, just misses on it. You could see what she was trying to do. She was trying, you look at it again, I think she's trying to lay it back. Let's look at it again.
Because if Mackenzie Ongst isn't right there,
Yeah,
it's 2-0.
Yeah, she was trying to lay it back right there. And she couldn't get onto it, but it was just, what a good idea. That just shows how good of a soccer player she is when she tries to lay it off instead of trying to score right there, too.
Don't forget, Rader had 5 assists last year, so a complimentary scorer for Duke.
Yeah.
Now can West Virginia counter here in the final 20 minutes of this first half? Beltran up the far flank. And is it intercepted? You lose 2 to 3 key starters on the back line, and this Duke club with Royson and Brewster and Piper, some new faces, they have stepped up and looked really good today. Very
much so. They've definitely been what I expected to see from them. It'll be interesting with this high press to see, if you get tired legs, as you mentioned, the humidity's gone away. But it's still hot. It's still very early in the season. You're coming off the preseason. The legs are a factor. I'm interested to see how many subs are made throughout the game by both teams to counteract some of that.
Both teams get players warned for that late substitution in this first half. Now Valderon touches it forward. Nice turn by White. A lot of real estate here for Maggie Graham. This is a challenging ball as Rader comes charging. Ongst, that's the goalkeeper, come after it, but that's where pressure can lead to privilege here for Duke. Wow, Laguerre gets it back, plays it to Rader, chance for 2. Nice save. Massey hangs on. Wow, Kat Rader nearly pulled off a brilliant strike.
And there's not too many goalkeepers in women's college soccer that can make this save. Rader didn't have much of a room, but to get back, pull herself back, and get that athletic, yeah, that's incredibly hard to do. They may be able to make the save, but not be able to bring it in like Massey did right there.
I think Team Canada in 4 years might need to consider Miss Kaysa Massey for the Olympic squad. How about this?
Yeah, look at it right here. This is what I'm saying. She doesn't have much room, but look at that. Gets down, able to bring it down, and still be able to gobble it up rather quickly. That was very much going towards net. She got down very, very quickly. That's harder to do than it looks as we have this water break.
Especially early in the year, these hydration breaks at a referee's disposal. What has impressed you most about Kat Rader? Clearly talented, ACC Freshman of the Year, but becoming a prominent piece of the offense in year 2.
I liked your verbiage just a second ago. Pressure has become a privilege. She really has taken advantage of it. You were wondering, is the pressure going to be too much? It's on you now. I mean, I didn't expect that because I know what she did against South Carolina. I know how good South Carolina is. In the exhibition, you're right. It was just an exhibition. But if you're doing that in an exhibition, you're going to do the same thing the next time you play. It's been a great start for Rader and for the Blue Devils in general.
This is a Duke team when they opened the year under the Robbie Church era, clearly dominant. 5 straight home wins, but have never lost a home opener under Robbie Church. 10 in a row, and it's truly incredible when you think about some of the opponents, Wake Forest, Arkansas, and it really does open the tables about how good this Duke team is early in the year.
Yeah, and whoever you play in the opener, you don't know what you're going to get. Like I said, you try to set up exhibitions to get you to that point. But, you're playing 30 minutes. You're playing this or that. You're trying to get through your fitness. And, one of the things that Coach Church told us is that fitness has been better than it ever has with this year. Every player, for the most part, almost every player, I guess I should say, finished the beep test. And if you don't know what the beep test is, look it up. And it's
wind sprints.
Yeah, wind sprint. Basically,
it is a lot of
it's
running.
hard. Made famous by Manchester United and Sir Alex Ferguson a long, long time ago. But look it up. It's not fun. I don't miss doing them myself, but to have everybody do it from the outset means that you could bring more into play from the beginning because you're not trying to get them in fitness. They're already there, and you can start implementing things.
Remember, this is the Duke team. It only had about 11 or 12 players in the spring. Injury, young lineup, bringing a ton of freshmen. And this group has come ready to go from day one from a conditioning standpoint.
That's so big. I can't emphasize that enough. When you're in shape, you can start working on things. You don't have to worry about getting in shape, which is so pivotal.
promising ball forward for the Mountaineers and resulting in a corner kick. Had one earlier. That's the first minutes for Jordan Wilson, the true freshman. We asked Nikki Izzo Brown, how many freshmen do you expect to play? She said 6 to 7 tonight. Could sub in at moments.
Yeah, and that's saying a lot with what they had returning, for sure.
Second corner for the Mountaineers. That goes wide.
Get up!
Duke sending it forward, testing this back line of the Mountaineers. That pitched a shutout in the Big 12 tournament final to clinch its ticket to the tournament. It's a talented WVU club, 22 of the last 23 years in the NCAAs, including that College Cup run to the championship up in San Jose 7 years ago.
What a run that was. Had to Herman winner themselves that season, and one of the best teams, obviously, in West Virginia history. Arguably, it probably is the best team in history, and they feel like that they've just continued to build with that, and they can get back to that point and that level very soon.
Lost to a USC Trojan club who comes here in a week. National champs under Coach Kadani McAlpin.
I'm amazed that the Southern Cal grad could pick that out quickly.
I know a thing or two about USC sports. And of
Excuse
course,
me, Southern USC, sorry.
No, I totally understand. With Brian Hand, the North Greenville defender back in his tenure, EvanBudrovich. Caleb Waters producing our show, doing a great job tonight. Opening game for our entire production crew with the soccer season underway. Now a moment in space for Jada Bedoya, the UConn transfer. She earns the throw. Nice presence as a senior transfer coming in.
Yeah, it said she's added a lot, that she's really come in and expected to be who you want to be. Just a great student athlete, you know, and to say that so quickly in the season says a lot from the coaching staff.
3 quality transfers coming in for West Virginia. With a roster now of 10 seniors, just a lot of experience.
That's why I was surprised, as I alluded to just a minute ago when she said, oh, we'll play 6 or 7 freshmen, because we know what they have returning, too.
Look at that test for Freeman, the Oregon transfer who comes out of her post. And West Virginia returns 8 starters. They welcome 5 seniors, and Duke did the same in the portal, including Freeman. What a luxury to bring in an all-conference caliber keeper to replace an all-conference keeper.
Luxury's the right word.
Yeah, Ruthie Jones was fantastic in 64 starts, and then you bring in Freeman. Now West Virginia with numbers. Here's McCarthy. That's deflected. And can the Blue Devils run? What a promising ball over. Last second distribution. That was Kira Clemens, the Raleigh native, in to make the play. Entering the final 16 minutes of this first half. The lone difference, the Cat Raider Magnifico in the 11th.
Good, Bailey, good step. Get on line, babe.
This is a nice touch forward, looking for Bedoya. Shielded off perfectly by Migley. That's a player Coach Robbie Church was high on. The senior Olivia Migley getting her first minutes.
Very high on her. You know, does a great job getting that out of play. To be another corner kick for West Virginia. But you're right. You know, one of the many seniors that the bigger part that they've said is that leadership team. They don't necessarily have captains right now, but to have that senior leadership team.
The first time in the Robbie Church era, no captains, all senior leadership, which is unique for this Duke program.
Very unique, and it's kind of the way it's transitioning in soccer right now. A lot of the programs across the country.
Corner in. That second ball is cleared. Because as we've mentioned, this Duke team, 6 critical starters on to either professional ranks or moving on to the next level. That does open the door for a team to find leadership now.
Yeah, and it brings a unique, you know, you mentioned that each senior assigned to different players, different younger players to help with the youth movement. And, you know, that's big. Like I said, the U.S. national team, for example, on the men's and the women's side has implemented the leadership team process. And it's just it's a new thing in soccer, but it may work just as much. And they're going to sign captains. It just gives you the ability to give more people ownership of the team. And the more they have ownership of the team, the better it is for everyone.
8 seniors for this Duke team. Nice touch there by Laguirre. West Virginia with the early header off the post in the first 5 minutes. Duke comes back 5 minutes later with its own goal, and we've kept quiet since. Remember, it was the Mountaineers who won the last matchup in Morganton, 3-2. The game had all the drama late with a game winner from Alina Stahl. I think Ryder got away with one, some incidental contact off the arm. And now Duke can capitalize.
Great job by Bellarmine to get her foot out and just get a foot on that.
Good slide tackle to dispossess for Bedoya.
I will say the referees are letting him play. We've seen that. It's been very consistent tonight.
That's important in match one, getting a feel for how physical these teams will be tonight.
For sure. And you want to set that tone and allow them to play until you have to step in.
Look at Rader. Rader to her right. Nearly a second. Had the twirl the first time to bend it, and that one stayed straight.
Yeah, just kind of hit that one a little too hard. Didn't twirl it enough. You look at it right here, just what she's done so much tonight already. A great through ball right there, sets it up, but just hits through it instead of spinning it around. It gets her body, doesn't spin her body enough around to get enough torque.
Against an elite goalkeeper in Keza Massey. 10 shutouts last year. West Virginia needs to put some pressure on this Duke club. Here's Bedoya. Olivia Migley, who had a lower body injury last year, only played a handful of matches. What a presence to come back now for Duke in her her next season.
Yeah, it's a big
senior season.
Yeah, not to interrupt you, but I think it's important to set the tone for everybody else, going back to what we were talking about earlier, that if you show that you're willing to put in the work, then the others are going to put in the work and make them want to get back and get back the right way as well. It's good leadership.
Freeman, a low boot. Duke loves to play through the middle and filter outside here with Graham. Laguirre, nice ball forward. And Massey really pushes her line forward as a keeper. She will extend outside that box at times.
Yeah, and you can't do that if you don't have her athleticism, but it's a luxury to have that. Now, if I was West Virginia, I would do the same thing because it allows you to do what you're doing on the other end. When you have the other team in possession, it allows you to press as well. Definitely allows you to be higher on your blocks for sure.
Header won by the Mountaineers. They have 2 shots in this first half, 1 on target. Have to move there by Bedoya. Can't get through the line of defenders. Here's Leah Freeman, who led the Pac-12 in saves and wins last year, sending that one wide. What have you noticed from the Oregon transfer in her first game at Duke?
I think she's trying to fill it out as well. I think she's done a good job. Obviously, been up to the challenge. Even when they hit the post, she sprawled out and was there, did everything she could. It would have gone in if it wouldn't hit the post. This ball played over the top. But she's done everything.
A Raider with an opportunity. A goal tonight from this same spot. Goes left. And Ongst with a nice touch, resulting in the goal kick.
Great defense from Ongst. And she's done that a couple times tonight where it looks like Raiders going to be able to get past her and she collapses well. And that's such an art form in itself.
Here's a sub for the Blue Devils. JJ Endow comes in out of the Senegal. IMG Academy product. She'll replace Grace Watkins, who got the start. The senior out of Miracosta, California. Great beach town in Manhattan Beach. Alderons had a busy first half there on that left flank.
You're gonna have that with who's on that side that you're going against for sure. Raiders going to make it tough on you for everybody throughout the season. She's going to make it tough on you from that side, whoever's on that right flank.
Now back to Freeman. Ten minutes left in this first half. A space here for Maggie Graham. Is it off to Endow? So much speed for JJ checking in. With gazelle-like strides. West Virginia trying to double. That does create some space. Out to Rader. Valderan knocks it out and earns the corner.
A really nice job by West Virginia to hold their line. Obviously gave up the corner right there, but they did a good job of holding the line and kind of trying to get Duke to make something out of nothing. You can see what they set up with their defense with that 4-1-4 that they're trying to work through in their base defense.
Here's Elle Piper for the second Duke corner of the night. Piper to the middle of the box. Good punch out by Massey. Remember, it was Elle Piper who assisted on the final goal of Michelle Cooper's career in the NCAA tournament. Nearly won there. That'll result in a throw-in. All of a sudden, Duke amping it up in these last 5 minutes.
As they should, and this is when you should try to step on the throat and see if you can get that second goal if you're Duke. And obviously, if you're West Virginia, you got to buckle up and see if you can get something going on the other end on a counterattack.
46 goals for this Blue Devil team last year, and they're not slowing down in this first half. Kat Rader with the early strike in the 11th minute.
So they're offside.
Our first offside
called,
flag.
no, I think they actually called. He was illegal throw.
Okay,
yeah,
throw.
yeah,
Interesting.
Yeah.
With our assistant referee Justin Howard working that line.
Yeah, you don't see that much.
Dallas Rozier joining him, and Corey Rockwell, our lead ref in the middle. Massey now tested at her feet. Oh, that ricocheted everywhere and right to the foot of Rader. Cat drawing a pack of defenders. So a little bit of an adjustment here for West Virginia. Ongst is sliding back. Now Migley, head of the way. This is risky as Legary knocked it up. What a touch by Migley into the middle. Graham, and Legary there sends it wide.
That was the right idea. Just couldn't connect the right way. You said you could see that she was a little disappointed in herself, but it was the right idea to take that shot.
Karina Legary, good to have back for the Blue Devils. She looks to fill the shoes of Sophie Jones as a talented midfielder and attacking-minded.
Okay to come back my way.
It definitely has a lot of promise. One of the most heralded players to ever attend here. She's starting to get to that point. Dealt with a lot of injuries.
Yeah, did not play a ton last year as a freshman, but now back and healthy. Just in the preseason, it's been a slow return from injury.
Yeah. But as I said, one of the top and most heralded players, in the country coming out, whoever she would have chose would have got a great player, and just looking to see her I know the coaching staff just wants to see her show what she can do to everybody else.
And more importantly, her mom, Mercedes, an excellent tennis player. So as we get her for the U.S. Open this week, just keep an eye out for some tennis skills.
Yeah, I'm sure she has them too. Obviously the athletic genes came her way.
I just watched the documentary Breakpoint on Netflix.
Fantastic, isn't it?
And now I'm a Carlos Alcaraz fan for life.
As you should be.
He's the reigning U.S. Open champ.
I think he's the next huge star.
Taylor Fritz was a fun story too, the American out of California. Now West Virginia looking to equalize. Good boot there by Migley to send it out.
That was the example when you asked earlier of what West Virginia could do, and they buckled up. They got him away, got it going their way, but you got to be more crisp on that pass. They had an opportunity, or either take the shot, because, you know, Leah Freeman hasn't really been tested. Obviously, that one early on that just missed going in, but that was a half chance. Test her, see what she's up to in those situations if you're West Virginia.
Now at the final 4-minute mark of this first half. We expected both teams to be aggressive and test the lines early. I think this game has settled in the last 15, 20 minutes.
Yeah, kind of like what I was talking about earlier with the heat and getting used to the early part of the season. You've gone through heavy preseason. You're trying to get ready for the year and the grind that's going to come. And your body's just not there yet. No matter how good you are, how in shape you are, there's a difference when you get into full game play when everybody's playing at 100%. And you can see a little of that at the waning minutes of the first half.
Here's Emily Thompson checking in for West Virginia with the high press, the sophomore of Florida. A lot of new faces checking in. Lily McCarthy, the senior out of Maryland, out of Baltimore, comes in. And then Emma Dotson, the Lewisburg, West Virginia product, one of 5 homegrown Mountaineers. Now Freeman tested at her feet, and she aces that test. What a promising ball forward for Graham. Graham wins it, and Massey knocks it away.
Just fantastic goalkeeping by Massey. Does a great job using her athleticism, and then in the goalkeeper verbiage, she made herself big. She made sure that they couldn't get around her and got enough on it to pluck it away from the goal-scoring opportunity that was
and
really
the key
big.
there is a keeper, right?
Yep.
If she plays the body, it's a foul. If she plays the ball, it's fair game.
Yeah, so I said she made herself big, made her come to her, and she did a good job of using her athleticism to do just that.
Now Duke with Mia Minestrella. Mia Minestrella getting her first minutes. How about this effort here from Massey?
Yeah, you look at her right. This is what I'm talking about. She stands her ground, gets up, and she has to play the ball. And it was outside of the box. I don't know if we saw. I thought she was a little bit more in than she was. And that was great recognition at the same time from Massey. And we talked about it. Her coach said that she can do that, and she showed she could right there.
The 2-time All-Big 12 keeper, Keza Massey, has been tested in this half. Only one save. It's been a busy 45 minutes.
Yeah, for sure. To say that with that number, it looks like she hasn't done much, but she's been very much involved. And to use that where she made herself big, but also make it a soccer play, that's even more impressive for the one of the best goalkeepers in the country.
Thompson shields off for space. And a wrecking ball of defenders. No chance for the Mountaineers. Thompson chips it forward, looking for Bilal. And easily shuffled out by Emily Royson.
Yeah, good job to make them get their composure and get their shape. Good ball play from the defense to get it out of play.
From the public policy major who knows how to manipulate tight situations.
Well done. Good knowledge. And
Hey, the semester starts this week. We're all paying attention in the classroom.
Yeah, no, for sure. You're exactly right.
Although I was a broadcast journalism major, I don't know if that translates to either of these campuses. But
What you're doing right now, you're here.
impressive nonetheless.
Yeah, for sure.
With Brian Hand, I'm EvanBudrovich. Final minute of this first half.
Maggie, keep her in front of you.
The big moment for the Mountaineers in the opening 5 minutes. A shot on target, but deflects off the post. And then Duke, 5 minutes later, makes it 1-0. That's been it in this first half.
Yeah, it would have been a totally different game without that, with that going in.
Step up!
First passing here from Maddie Moreau, the LSU transfer.
9, 8, 7, 6, 5,
Let's see if Duke plays a transfer here in the final seconds. They will not.
1.
And that concludes half number 1. The sophomore standout, Kat Rader, an early goal in the 11th, and she was impressive in this first half.
Yeah, she very much was impressive. We said anything could happen, but we knew that she would be big, and she was exactly that with the goal. 4 shots, 2 shots on goal, and she's the difference so far.
The Duke Blue Devils, number 4 team in the country, living up to it and entertaining the fans tonight on the opening night of college soccer. We wondered who would step up for the Blue Devils. Well, Cat Raider, with this beauty of a bend, sends us to break. Look at that thing. Wow. 1-0 Duke in the opening half. We'll have plenty of highlights from this one when we return to Durham.
A positive experience for all participants and attendees. Host your very own tailgate, birthday party, corporate event, or group outing right here at Koskinen Stadium. Hospitality space is available on the Scandalers Pavilion and in the Cohen Family Hospitality Suite. Amenities feature a private room with multiple televisions and a spectacular...
Battling it out tonight. Great seasons for these programs a year ago, and we'll start with the visitors. West Virginia made it back to the NCAA tournament, but how about this stunner? In the 93rd minute, Jordan Brewster put the team on her back for a tournament championship.
Yeah, and then on this one, you would hope the goalkeeper would do better in this situation, but that's an all-timer. Perfect positioning, it goes in, and guess what? It leads to a title.
The 5th tournament title in the Big 12 for West Virginia, helping coach Nikki Izzo Brown get back to the NCAA.
The official soft drink of the Blue Devils. Host your wedding reception, business meeting, holiday function, or get together right here at Duke Athletics. Duke Blue Devils power with the Detroit.
What a beautiful night in Durham for the start of the women's college soccer season.
Team will be back in action right here in Koskinen Stadium on Sunday, October 23rd.
What a beautiful night in Durham for the start of the women's college soccer season. Number 4 Duke and national power West Virginia battling it out tonight. Great seasons for these programs a year ago, and we'll start with the visitors. West Virginia made it back to the NCAA tournament, but how about this stunner? In the 93rd minute, Jordan Brewster put the team on her back for a tournament championship.
Yeah, and then on this one, you would hope the goalkeeper would do better in this situation, but that's an all-timer. Perfect positioning, it goes in, and guess what? It leads to a title.
The 5th tournament title in the Big 12 for West Virginia, helping coach Nikki Izzo Brown get back to the NCAA championships. These are two programs with a ton of postseason success. And Michelle Cooper for Duke, one of the senior captains last year, the Mac Herman Award winner. What a fantastic striker for the Blue Devils.
Yeah, fantastic is the right word. Had an all-time career here at Duke, one of the best careers in the ACC and all of women's college soccer. You see the Herman Trophy winner, first team All-American, the ACC Offensive Player of the Year. Put up the stats, but also led the Blue Devils as a team in general. As you look at this strike right here, that tells you everything that you need to know about the player.
19 goals in her senior season, putting the Blue Devils on her back all year long. Which begs the question now for Coach Robbie Church. Big shoes to fill for this Blue Devil program. Look at the allotment of talent that moved on to the NWSL and professional ranks for the Blue Devils. This does beg the question, how does Duke replace such a talented class?
Well, you don't, number one, but in the second place, If you have that type of talent, you recruit that type of talent. And Duke's done a fantastic job over the last few years of recruiting top 10 classes. You're kind of seeing a little bit on the field already. Really good players. You don't replace a Michelle Cooper, but you can replace what she does and replace her production. And you don't replace the other players you're seeing right there as well. But other players get that opportunity. That's what, when you have this type of program, that's what it provides. And Duke has just that right now.
Those boots are made for walking as the Blue Devils and Mountaineers return to action when we come back. Welcome back to Durham. Here's some of our favorite moments of the first half with Duke leading 1-0. How about Kat Rader putting on a show with this goal?
Just a beautiful shot. You look at here, another angle. Perfect extension from Massey. Still went into the back of the net. Just a beautifully done from Rader.
The All-ACC freshman having a great sophomore year. And with my buddy Brian Hand, I'm EvanBudrovich. Tell you what, when these teams get after it, there's been high pressing, there's been emotion in this game. What have you learned in the first 45 minutes?
That they came to play. That they had great preseasons, as we know both teams did, and we also knew Kat Rader was really good, and she proved it in the first half. And I think the second half, there's a lot that could happen, but I still expect Duke to come out ready to play, do what they've done. But I also expect West Virginia to come out, be gritty, and try to get back into this ballgame.
And this Duke club, number 4 team in the country, entering this match, living up to it through the first 45 minutes. And here's the reason why. It is a crowded top 10 of ACC and Big 12 clubs. Look at the conference alone. North Carolina, Notre Dame, Duke, Florida State, Virginia. I mean, the list goes on and on. There's some talent here in the ACC.
And then some. You mentioned, 5 out of 10. And then you also got a TCU that's from the Big 12, like West Virginia. There's just good college soccer in this region. And that top 10 is ACC for a reason. It's a really good conference.
Notre Dame was a #1 national seed last year. Of course, North Carolina, always talented with Coach Anson Dorrance. And then Atlantic Coast Conference, because we told you Duke's number 4. But when you're number 4 in the country and struggling to crack the top 4 in your own conference poll, it tells you how talented this top half of the league is.
Yeah, and as Coach Church told me and you the other day, it just means that nobody knows what they expect from this team, but it shows that Duke's really good. And if you're in the top 5 in the ACC preseason poll, you're going to be in the top 10 in the country. So Duke's right where they need to be at this point in time.
Duke coming off a 16-win campaign. They have a lot of accolades, a lot of expectations. And in the Big 12 Conference, this is no slouch either in terms of RPI. BYU, a national competitor every year in the top 16. TCU, Texas, even UCF coming from the American. That's a good top 6 in the Big 12.
Yeah, BYU, one of the best programs in the country. TCU, what he's done there. You saw the number 9 in the preseason national poll. Everybody knows what Texas can do. I mean, Texas Tech right there. UCF, a great program. Big 12 is as good as it gets. We mentioned it, ACC, Big 12, SEC. There's not much variance between those. ACC's the best, but there's not much variance.
It's a Big 12 program with BYU, the newcomers, as the favorites. One of the reigning powers of the conference, Duke Blue Devils up 1-0. We'll have the second half of action when we come back. Great thing to see with college soccer back on this Thursday night start of the season. Duke Blue Devils, one of the best teams in the country, up 1-0 over the talented West Virginia club. And here's some highlights from the first half, because early on the Mountaineers had a great chance in the first 5 minutes.
Connected incredibly well. You look at it right here. Did everything you needed to. Got over the ball well. Hit it well, just off the woodwork, and just kept on that, and that changed the game and allowed this to happen moments later.
Kat Rader with a couple of opportunities, but when she's one-on-one, so difficult to stop.
Yeah, so that just missed early on, but right here the game completely changed.
They might call it bend it like Rader here in Durham. The sophomore takes advantage.
It was a beautiful shot, and you take a look at the stats right there. What do you see?
Well, first and foremost, Duke put a ton of pressure on West Virginia, and that's what these two teams wanted to do. You know, interesting, the corners, WVU with some chances for the Mountaineers, and then shot-wise, the one shot on target, but not much pressure on Freeman in that first half.
Yeah, we talked about it. You look at that right there, the saves that Massey had. It doesn't look like she had a lot of work in the first half, but she had a ton of work in the first half. Duke really pressured her, and then other than that half chance that we saw that went off the post, you know, Freeman wasn't tested that much. If you're West Virginia, you definitely need to make sure to test this Duke defense and see if you can make something happen.
It's a Duke program that has a ton of postseason success, and not only getting to college cups, but going deep into NCAA tournaments. This is the quarterfinals, so you're one step away in the last 12 years. And how about Duke 9 times? Of course, Florida State, what they've done in the ACC, fantastic. These are premier programs, and Duke is right up there with them, reaching that top level.
Yeah, that is as good as anybody in the country since 2011, and really before that too. Really built a nice program. We talked about earlier today the top 10 recruiting classes. This is what top 10 recruiting classes helps build for you. You know, another top 10 recruiting class this year as well. Duke's put themselves among the elite in the country, and you're seeing it play out here in the first half tonight so far.
So Duke with the 1-goal lead. How does Nikki Izzo Brown's club, how do they bounce back in the second half?
She talked about, when we were talking to her on the phone the other day, grit, getting after it, being who we are, and who West Virginia is. A team is going to press you. They're going to make you work. Make Duke do something. Make them work for every possession. When they're trying to play out of possession, get in there, see if you can get a deflection, see if you can make a half chance happen. Because you saw in the first 5 minutes, that's exactly what happened. They couldn't finish, but if you can keep doing that, then Duke may get caught off guard, and if they get a goal, the game will completely change.
And these goalkeepers not only are big-time names, but they're all conference type of talent. There's Keza Massey, who in 57 starts has over 20 shutouts in her tenure. She's been athletic, been sprawling around, and then the Oregon transfer in her debut here at Duke. Leah Freeman, 5'10" senior. These are some big-time names, and they're living up to it in the first 45.
Yeah, and then some. They really are. Freeman, as we mentioned, hasn't been tested a ton. Interested to see if West Virginia could do that a little bit more here in the second half. But Massey, you know, even the goal, as much of a Olympico that it was, she almost got there. But, you know, good offense is always going to beat good defense in that situation if you hit it that well. No matter how elite of a goalkeeper was, Rader just hit it exceptionally. But Massey making herself big in that latter part of the second half. That's why it was still 1-0. That may factor in huge here in the second half.
And of course, Mackenzie Wood of Notre Dame led the ACC in goals against average, but these two keepers are looking to make their mark in Game 1 of this regular season. And the Mountaineers love to press. We're seeing it early from Nikki Izzo Brown's club. Valderan with it. She'll come forward from that back line. Chip a lovely ball in. And that service is cleared out by Graham. Rodriguez right to the keeper.
That's exactly what you want, though, from West Virginia. You asked what they needed to do, and that's exactly it. You got to pressure this Duke defense. Nothing happened right there, but at least you had a shot on goal. You're starting to try to see if you can make questions, and then to use soccer verbiage, ask those questions of the Duke defense.
So Grace Watkins sends it forward. Duke's like a Venus flytrap. You fall into it, and they make you pay on the other end. That's the test now for a more aggressive, forward-pushing West Virginia team to not give up that counter on the opposite side.
And very much so. And they've actually laid back a little bit more than I, would have came into tonight thinking they would. But it's just for that reason. They know what Duke can do.
Now Leah plays it at feet. And sends that one a little ill-advised. That is one area West Virginia may be able to capitalize if that pressure makes life tough on the keeper. Rowe plays it back to Leslie. A little too much weight on that pass. Right to the camera guy.
Double duty.
Hashtag content. Great social media teams for both these clubs, putting out videos all week leading up to game one.
It's as big a part of the game as anything else nowadays.
And nothing beats that infectious energy the first day of class or the first day of games. In this case, that's a long grind. 3 months till November, race to the College Cup. It can be a physical challenge, a gauntlet. You have to have some energy about it.
Yeah, I mean, you think about it. You really spent all year to play 3 months. So, you put a lot of energy into those 3 months. So you want to make the most of those 3 months.
Road to Cary, North Carolina for the College Cup. It's been a long time home of the tournament. So UCLA an absolute thriller. And another national title. The freshman Schertzer sends it outside. Here's Heredia Beltran. Heredia fires right to Freeman. What do you feel about that look outside the 18 for the Mountaineers?
Right now, with nothing doing in the first half, really, for West Virginia, I'm okay with it. They've had 2 long shots, but they're taking shots. They're doing exactly kind of what we were hoping they would. When you ask what should they do, it's like try to ask some of those questions. See if you can make something happen. Yes, are they going to have to take some close-in shots at some point? Yeah, but right now you got to see if you can open up that. And when you open up that defense, you take those shots.
Top scorer, Lauren Segalia, graduated, moved on from the program. She had 7 goals. It was not a huge 1-2 punch of Cooper and Rader for Duke. A little more of 3-goal here, 4-goal there. Mixing and matching. Now Rodriguez with a ton of space. White looks to turn the corner. Migley shields her off. Wrestled to the ground. That's a nice defensive play by Migley.
She's been great all night. You talked about her in the first half. She's done exactly what Coach Schertzer told us that she was going to do, and she's been fun to watch so far.
Coach described her as wide, quick, and fast. She showed you all 3 on that play. Because White's got the size advantage. That's hard to shield her off. That shot tells you how humid and sweaty and how much effort goes into these first matches.
Yeah, I'm sweaty here in the press box. I can't imagine what they're like out there, right? And the air conditioning's on here.
Here at Koskinen Stadium on Duke's campus with Brian Hanna, EvanBudrovich. Opening night for women's college soccer. The race to Cary is on, and a dangerous pass there by Freeman. The ball pressure by Heredia Beltran leading to a turnover.
Now, if you're Duke, you want to see if you can weather this pressure. West Virginia's done what we thought they would do. But now if you're Duke, can you weather this 5-10 minute stretch and make sure nothing happens? Because West Virginia at this pace probably isn't going to be able to keep that up without some substitutions.
Now Piper plays it forward. Now a whistle here. Good ball control by Heredia Beltran. The Wichita, Kansas product, who's a 2-time All-Big 12 standout. More importantly, her birthday is coming up in 2 weeks, September 9th. The big 22. I don't know about you, but I'm feeling it if I'm T Swift out there.
That's an important birthday. I don't know. Do you think she may get Taylor Swift tickets, you think?
The Era Tour might continue with these 2 programs, that's for sure. They have postseason aspirations.
Are there tickets still available?
Let's see if Annika Leslie can serve up a nice ticket into the box. This is fairly deep, and Freeman sprawls up to grab it. Probably not the ideal spot there if you're West Virginia. Where do you want to place that free kick there if you're an attacking player?
You want to have it an outswinger a little bit. Just get it a little bit more towards the other end of the 6-yard box.
Well, that ball pinballed everywhere, and it came back to Duke.
Basically, to answer your question fully, where the goalkeeper can't get to. So the more outward it is, then you want to head it back into the middle and hope that somebody's there to redirect it in.
So more high pressing here for West Virginia. Whoa. Isabel Loza nearly had that one. She's a UCLA transfer, played a handful of minutes 2 years ago for the Bruins. Now in year 2 in Morganton. Nice midfield presence. Here's Devin Lynch. Ooh, dangerous play. And now the referee will be issuing a yellow card. That was definitely dangerous.
Yeah, didn't want to. You could see he really thought about it, but realized that you have to in that situation. It's the right call, but definitely did not want to. But
that's throwing your body at an opposing player.
That's what I'm saying. I was watching him to see if he was going to do it, but you know, there was no malintent on it, but it was nothing malicious. But you have to give a card in that situation, or things like that will continue.
Delare Heredia Beltran, only a junior, but one of the viable leaders of this program. She's one of 10 different players on the roster with 40 or more games of experience. There's a lot of depth and veteran leadership for West Virginia. Now Lynch. Nice pass off to Piper. That's deflected, and Massey comes out of her box. Shows off the cannon and plays it forward to White.
Great idea. Definitely, with the way things are going right now, you want to keep up the pressure.
Ooh, look at White winning possession back. A little long on that pass. How much can that be a game plan now with the quick counter movement for West Virginia?
I think you have to, particularly with the way the game is right now. As I mentioned earlier, can they keep it up? That I don't know, because it's going to take a lot of effort. But you look at it right here.
You put the swim move on, you then go for the little hezzy.
Yeah, good shot right there. That was fun to watch. It's been fun to watch all night.
Definitely a foul there on Maddie Moreau. Clearly these clubs athletically are matching up very well. That's what you like about these tournament quality opponents in game one. West Virginia, second round of the NCAA's, Duke to the quarterfinals. This is a postseason tight game in night one of the regular season.
And as both coaches told, it's by design. That's what you want it to be early in the season, because you want to be tested early, because it's a long season. It's a marathon, not a sprint. But you want to play good teams too.
Here's Devin Lynch. Lynch looks to turn. Moreau shields her off. And is that a... Nope, I'm not going to say it just yet. It's like a siren has gone off in the press box. So play will continue. We'll keep you updated on what's going on. The good news is everything's all right on the field.
So much so nobody's not even looking. Like it was very much easily communicated that to both teams. Nothing to worry about on that regard.
There's a tough foul for West Virginia. Isabel Loza playing hard. We have not said Cat Rader's name much in this second half, but Duke continues to maintain possession.
You're getting towards that tail end of that time frame I gave you earlier, of that 10 to 15 minutes. And it looks like they're weathering it pretty well. Can West Virginia keep it up? That I don't know. But so far, West Virginia is starting to foul a little bit more, and Duke's doing a good job of holding their composure. That, you know, they may have weathered that, and let's see if Duke can make something happen here.
Lynch plays it back post. Header in. Piper takes a big swing and a miss. And now the Mountaineers to counter. Quality play forward there by Duke. Expect everything on the opening night of the women's college soccer season. Early goal in the 11th minute by Cat Rader, the talented sophomore. Had a ball hit the woodworks early. Had alarms go off in the stadium, but everything's okay. Hey guys, don't worry, we're okay. We're sitting in the booth, very well protected.
Okay.
But sometimes the siren goes off, you know?
So that wasn't in your that wasn't on your bingo card for tonight?
I don't have the switcher next to me. But thankfully these women they're very battle tested, not worried about a little bit of loud noise.
Just adds to the ambiance.
Continuous high ball pressure here from Isabel Loza. a sudden now space for Rader up that near side. Ooh, tremendous footwork by Moreau. Wanting a foul, and she does get it. There's our fourth referee, Shamel Barike, breaking it up.
Already has a card, you know, the foul is on her, but you want to be careful in those situations, not to get you into a situation that could get you in trouble. Sometimes it's that second that's caught.
Growing up an older brother, I can speak to that 100%. I was always the one who got caught. Never delivered the first blow. Annika Leslie sends one towards the box. A bit of space here for Maya McCutcheon in a possession-oriented second half. West Virginia's pressing forward. Good defensive ball there by Brewster, leading to the throw. That's a big returning piece, having Bailey Brewster back after missing most of last year due to injury. Only played in 12 matches, now anchoring this back line.
A big part of it. And the coach mentioned that's just such a good thing to have back. You know, they've built up some good people around it, you know, able to get other people some minutes, but to have that back and to build that back in it is huge for the team. One of the things we haven't talked about is Raiders moved over to the right side here in the second half. So going against somebody different second, they haven't been able to, we haven't said her name, as you noted earlier, that much, but let's see if she can make something happen on the other end. You know, see, going against a different defender, obviously by design for this Duke coaching staff, but they're seeing if they can make something happen as the referee's trying to get play going. Stopping the clock.
Referee asking to stop it, correct. So play resumes. Just under 31 minutes to go. Worth noting, second year of no overtime in women's college soccer or on the men's side, so it is urgent moments. Big run here for Loza. Wins it. Loza in space. Rodriguez tips it back. White deflected. First good chance for the Mountaineers, and Duke sniffs it out. And here comes Kat Rader. Rader runs the right flank and is tipped away with an offside flag to limit this back and forth action.
Yeah, that was very important right there because Duke was going the other way heavily. If she wasn't offside, that may have been a one-on-one goal opportunity against Freeman on goal.
The good news, the sirens have gone off. It's my Tom Brokaw reporting the news for the night for you. You're on ACC Network Extra. Plenty of fireworks early, though. 11th minute goal from Kat Rader, who was the ACC Freshman of the Year last season. And now the sirens have turned back on. I jinxed it. The broadcaster jinx is alive and well. El Piper the last to touch that one. I thought that was more of a baseball softball thing, but I guess it does apply even in soccer at times.
I was working the American Legion World Series last week, and it ended up throwing no hitter, and then the broadcasters were trying everything they could to not say no hitter the whole time. Like, you know, it's just so hard not to.
That's a fun tournament down in Shelby, North Carolina.
They do a great job.
As Lily McCarthy comes in her second appearance, one in the first half, one in the second half. Now Duke with some numbers. Here's Laguirre, talented sophomore back from injury outside.
Good step. Step, Taylor, win it.
Valderan's had a tough duty down that left side. Another dispossession.
Send
That time
it,
of
send
Grace
it.
Watkins.
Good. Kenzie, well done.
I think they got Laguirre right in a tough spot.
Yeah, I think she speaks to the level of Duke when, you know, you feel like, oh, Raiders not over here anymore. Then you realize that, oh, they're really good too.
Send it.
I believe Duke touched that last. Yeah, West Virginia throw.
Mark up, mark up.
We've seen 2 more shots on target for the Mountaineers in this second half. But now on the defensive end as Duke pushes forward.
We're going to have to make contact with her. Delari, 2. I feel like we need
This is a Duke team that was within 1 goal, 1 win of another College Cup. Losing 6 key starters, 4 to the NWSL, and in comes a young, talented class, top 10 recruiting that has lived up to it here in game 1.
Taylor, you're on the edge.
Yeah, we knew they were good, and it was interesting to see all the new pieces kind of work together. The new old pieces in some ways, you know, people taking on different roles, players that may have not played as much in the past getting more prominent roles, and so far so good if you're a Duke fan.
Robbie Church noting we may be young, but he likes the depth of this roster.
Yeah, really nice half chance. Right there, it looked like it wasn't something out of nothing, but you know, if she would have got a good connection, that might have easily been a goal.
And there's all eyes on Kat Rader, who had 2 goals against South Carolina in the preseason, and that's when Robbie Church knew. He told us we knew she could be an aggressive scorer, but now she's becoming a go-to scorer. Big transition from year 1 when you're playing beside Michelle Cooper, one of the best in the country. As Duke gets it right back. What is the ceiling for this number 4 team in the country? Robert Church noted maybe rankings are hard to figure this early in the year. What do you expect out of Duke this year?
I think the ceiling is Final Four. I really do. I mean, I think this team has that ability. Again, yes, I agree with Coach Church. I think top 4 right now is a little disingenuous. Do I think they're a top 10, top 15 team? 100%. But top 4, you know, with what they're having to replace, what they have to prove, may be a little low. I mean, it may be a little high, excuse me. But at the same point, that means they have the talent at the end of the year to get to the Final Four. And if you're in the Final Four, that means you have a chance to win the national championships. And I think that that's where the position that Duke women's soccer is in now. They want to always be in that conversation, and I think they are in that conversation to start the year. They got to prove it, but they're there to start the year.
UCLA, Florida State, Santa Clara, the last 3 winners. The door's open here in 23. Promising touch for the Mountaineers. Scherzer has it tipped.
Santa Clara one, yes. Santa Clara's had a good program for a long, long time, but of late hadn't been what they had been, and then, you know, got their way and got a national, just as Marshall on the men's side as well. It just shows that, you know, anybody can win it every year, and I said it earlier in the first half. I really believe on this women's side that there's 10 to 15 teams that at the end of the year, you know, if you look at that top 10 to 15, I think that's probably who it is. You know, I'd be shocked if there's somebody that's not listed there.
We have 6 different national champs in the last 9 years. A lot of depth at this high Division I level.
No doubt, and that's what I'm saying. I think that they really have a chance for somebody that's not somebody out of the norm, I guess, to come in there and win a national championship, or somebody that's always in that position, but maybe has not done that. Maybe Duke, right? And that when I'm saying that, you know, they're right there. And I think this West Virginia team not being ranked is a little disservice as well.
West Virginia made it to the 2nd round of the NCAAs last year. Big 12 tournament champions. This is scheduled by design. Mountaineers have Penn State coming up. Of course, a talented Big 12 conference slate, and at Virginia, a top 10 team. Duke will gear up for top 25 USC in a week, so there's a lot of tests here in August. Thankfully, no midterms, but a lot of tests on the soccer pitch.
They got to get their syllabus ready, that's for sure, though, to get ready for the year. It's going to be an interesting year for both of them because league play is going to be really tough, and that non-conference league is no joke for both of them.
We gotta want it, ladies. We gotta want to break those lines.
That's a nice ball and onside for Heredia. Heredia Beltran into the box. And a touch there by Brewster to clear it. Rodriguez, a bit promising.
You asked about what having Brewster back meant, being healthy. That right there, that kind of defense. You can't teach some of that kind of stuff. Just to have that ability and that foresight to get that ball out. She probably would have got it meant to get it a little bit further away from play, but a good job right there.
So now Jordan Wilson comes in on the attacking end, the true freshman. Heredia Beltran's had some big runs, and you wonder, will she re-enter late in this half?
I don't think there's any doubt. I think she'll come in for the stretch run. I'm not making those calls, but I think it's a pretty safe bet.
There are big RPI points on the line. I know it's a big term early in the year, but you talk about top 25 wins. Those are important for these two.
Yeah, she did. You know, West Virginia didn't shy away from noting that you know, it's ACC Big 12. You don't think about those kinds of things, but those things helps in those RPI standpoint early in the year for sure. When you lead into the NCAA tournament later on.
So Karina Laguirre now runs in space. 5 top 25 wins for Duke last year, but an offside flag limits that opportunity. Those 5 wins helped Duke earn a number 2 seed. Hosted all the way to the quarterfinals, had to go to Alabama.
See a little bit of heavy legs for West Virginia. Rodriguez puts in so much work that you can see this Duke team's testing them a little bit. They were able to weather that stretch that we talked about early in the second half, and now little tired legs. You'll probably see a few more substitutions from West Virginia here in a minute because they're likely getting heavy for sure.
We do have a water break coming up in the second half.
That's a really great point.
That's at the discretion of the referee, and it happened in the first. That'll continue here in the second, especially with the humidity in match 1. I think that's important.
100%. It's a really great point.
Good play here by Devin Lynch. There's Kat Rader on an island.
Maddie's got 2.
Valderan's turn defensively.
Right, Kenzie, good step.
And Ongst is there.
Good, Kenzie. Step! Right away, let's go!
You hear Coach Nikki Izzo Brown demanding her defenders to come forward.
That's just who they are. You know, she wants them to play the same way from start to finish. And when they do pull back a little bit, it's not for long. It's just to catch the other team kind of napping.
There's Watkins trying to find a sleeper. Look at that move. And a deflection for the corner. The ever dangerous Manhattan Beach, California product, Grace Watkins earning the corner.
Good job by both, to be honest. It was a really good defense, and to hold her ground, especially when she fell down like that, gets back, gets the ball to play for the corner kick. You got to give her credit as well.
Duke scored in the 11th minute. Now a chance here for Lynch. Massey rises, loses the ball, and it's in for the Blue Devils. A 2-0 start. What a deflection. And the Blue Devils take advantage.
Yeah, you can see Massey feels like she was interfered with, but Duke opportunistically still finds it into the back of the net.
There's Katie Groff with her 5th career goal for the senior out of Raleigh. Special moment here as we take water intermission. Right place, right time for Miss Groff.
Yeah, that's what I said, you know. Credit Duke, played on, get the ball in the back of the net. That's what you're supposed to do. Play till you hear the whistle, right? And the whistle means there's now a goal, and it's 2-0 as we enter this water break with exactly 20 minutes left.
Katie Groff, the lefty, takes advantage. Look at this loose scrum on the box. Blue Devils all over it. Right place, right time for a 2-0 lead.
West Virginia, number 6, Emma Dotson.
Goals in each of the two halves for the number 4 team in the country, the Duke Blue Devils. One, brilliant. The other, great timing.
Rather be lucky than good, and then good it means getting into the back of the net. And the great, the Olympico, the Magnifico, the Golazo, whatever you want to call it, it was beautiful. And Raider with a great goal to start the night scoring. And then right here is opportunistic into the back of the net. And as we enter this water break, it's now 2-0 if we're getting things back going.
So in the 70th minute, Duke responds. Now a chance for a third. Nice rollout to Massey on the shot there. Clearly West Virginia likes to press, but down 2-0, you're almost compromised a bit here for the Mountaineers.
Yeah, I mean, they're going to kind of have to, because you got to go all out. It's the same thing if you're in basketball where you have to keep that press up if you're a pressing team or a high-shooting team. It's the same kind of volume with what they do defensively and offensively for West Virginia. They really don't have an option even down 2-0.
That'll go out for a Duke throw-in. Robbie Church noting in the preseason, Duke played on the attacking front. They were aggressive at times. Scored multiple goals in both games, and we're seeing elements of that tonight. Here's the true freshman, Mia Minestrella. Drawing a double. Minestrella plays it in. Promising dispossession, and it knuckles to the keeper. That bought everything on.
Yeah, it was a beautiful ball from Minestrella. Lucky that wasn't another goal if you're West Virginia, but a beautiful ball into the box.
Makes it 3 saves for the all Big 12 keeper.
She's done everything she could do. She's actually been really good tonight.
Neither goal typically on her either.
No, at all. The first one, as we mentioned, just an unbelievable goal. The second, I feel like she wasn't interfered with. I think it was just a scrum in there. I think it was a legit goal. Looking at it, I haven't watched it a bunch of times, but just seeing it quick off, it looked like to me, but it wasn't her fault.
Good job to win this ball for Jordan Wilson. And we asked Coach Nikki Izzo-Brown, how do you address these moments, 10, 15 minutes left, being more aggressive? And she said, we worked and practiced this preseason on amping it up in moments where we need goals.
And they're going to need that right now. They're going to, like what you saw from the start of the second half, West Virginia is going to have to do that as well right now. But they're also going to have to defend.
Because that's the compromise, right? You play forward, you have to get back on the other end.
Definitely opens you up for counterattacking a lot more.
Calming touch here for Laguirre. Here's where Duke is dangerous. Won 10 straight home openers under Robbie Church. Have not lost an opener since 2017. It's been a minute. Now Watkins. Look at that pass onside to Minestrella. The freshman goes for goal. And a nice save there by Massey.
Yeah, I like the idea. I like the ambition as well. Didn't have a great angle, but why not? See if it caroms off, and she hit it pretty well.
The true freshman, 2-time Daily Breeze Player of the Year out in Los Angeles. Have you ever been to Redondo Beach? That is a lovely town. I'm from there myself, but
I have been there.
Fanny's breakfast burrito, if you get a chance.
Next time I'm out there, I'll just jet on over there. But that's a
sunny and 75 every day of the year in Southern California. It is a blessing.
Yeah, there's no doubt on that.
Here in Durham, we're blessed to have the start of the women's college soccer season tonight. 2 NCAA tournament teams from a year ago. Now Robbie Church going to his bench one more time. Starter Nikki Chico returns. Good minutes though from Olivia Migley tonight, coming back in the lineup.
Yeah, we showcased one of her battles on that side earlier, and really has put in a lot of work. Put in that work rate that you want to see for Coach Church and the Blue Devil coaching staff, and really done a lot for Duke tonight.
Nikki had a neat preseason playing her sister Emily in South Carolina in a preseason match. They took a family photo down in Columbia. That makes for neat moments.
That's what it's all about at the end of the day. If you're lucky enough, and just hard enough to play Division I soccer, but when you got kids that are at 2 top 15 institutions, you got to take advantage of that moment, right?
There's a lot of fighting and crawling for space right here. There's a shot on target that just goes over. Wow, Olivia Schertzer wasting no time.
Yeah, you really like that idea. Earlier you said should they be shooting so much from the outside, and I think right now they really don't have anything else they should be doing. If you get a chance like that, you got to take it. And she just leaned back a little bit too much, but it didn't miss by much. It almost forced Freeman into a save no matter what, and that's what you're really trying to do.
And having trust in knowing where that post is and being able to deflect it or not, that's a difficult assignment. Especially in your first game at Duke, if you're Leah Freeman, the Oregon transfer.
It's such a tough thing with tired legs not to get over the ball or not to get under it too much too. So she did a good job to not get too much under it in that situation. So it was a good half opportunity for West Virginia for sure.
Replacing one of the greats at Duke, Ruthie Jones, who has since graduated and moved on, but tremendous performer for the Blue Devils, 65 starts.
Yeah, she's been good. I really do. I mean, hadn't been tested. It'd be interesting when, you know, that comes very soon. It may come here, but, you know, right now we hadn't had a bunch of tests, but every test that she's had, she has passed with flying colors.
So there's Kat Rader, whose 11th minute goal has been the game winner so far. She has seen a bunch of different defensive assignments from West Virginia. What have you noticed from Kat tonight?
That she's done well against all of those assignments, and at the same time she's also tried to make herself useful by moving around, trying to put herself in different positions. Obviously that's by design, but at the same time you have to have the willingness to do it and the wherewithal to do it, because she can be a decoy sometimes too, in the fact that they're going to key on her obviously, and it's going to open up some of her teammates, and sometimes some of the goals that have come for her because she's used as a decoy.
And that was the goal for Robbie Church this year, is get Kat Rader on the Mac Herman Award preseason watch list. She's not right now, but certainly talented, following in her Mac Herman Award trophy winner, Michelle Cooper from last year.
Yeah, I think she'll be on. I was like, I'll go ahead and stick it. She should. If she does what she's been doing and should do, she'll be there.
Well, here's a chance now for Rader. Into the box. A little wide.
And that was tired legs. That was, you know, she did everything, and she just kind of, you can tell she's a little disappointed knowing that that's not what she expects of herself. But if you're the coaching staff, you're fine with that because she's still taking the chances.
Speaking of which, Keza Massey today named to the Herman Trophy preseason watch list. So that'll get shrunken down in the midseason, but one of the best 50 players in the preseason coming in. Keza's been tested a ton tonight. Made 3 saves. And Rodriguez out wide. Look who's back in. Delaria Heredia Beltran. Space here for West Virginia. Nice save.
Another example of what we were talking about. When the chances come, that she stepped up where she needs to be, was really good in that, made sure that there was no opportunity on the back end in that situation.
That was pesky Gabby Lamparty getting some minutes here late for West Virginia, freshman into Canfield, Ohio. It's a neat mix, 7 freshmen, 10 seniors for West Virginia. Duke, pretty similar, 8 seniors, 8 freshmen. In fact, Duke was very limited in numbers in the spring, just 12 available players with health and then a young roster.
Yeah, it was kind of interesting to hear him say that, and then also, hey, it was one of our best springs ever because we were committed with the ones that we had. So, you know, that's when you know that you have buy-in with the program.
West Virginia has a 6-hour ride back and then gearing up for its home opener against St. Francis before hosting Penn State in a big matchup. Duke, meanwhile, will have the week to rest and recover and gear up for USC and Wisconsin to close out the month.
I really thought that was a great schedule design for Duke to, you know, have a good first opponent and then give yourself a week to get ready for what's going to be a really tough few days.
And then it amps up going to Stanford at the start of September. There's no rest for the weary when you're playing top 10 teams.
That's why you need that rest after the first game to say, hey, look, hey, we've seen what it looks like now. Now we get ready. There's a lot of good soccer programs we're about to face. That's what you want to go up against, like you were talking about. You asked the ceiling. That's what you want to get measured against.
Leslie plays it in, and Menestrella, the freshman, knocks it out. Both these clubs are battle tested. 8 top 25 opponents for the Mountaineers last year. Duke played 13 top 25 foes. That's how you get ready for tournament time come November.
Almost have that covered during the regular season with how many teams are ranked in the ACC. In the top 10 alone, right? Like we saw earlier.
Including North Carolina at number 2 in the country. Right now behind UCLA, the reigning champs. Ooh, big collision there.
Into the game for the Mountaineers, number 15, Lily McCarthy.
That was Grace Watkins going from one side of the pitch all the way to the other to knock that one loose.
Yeah, the new thing, it used to be in soccer that coaches wanted ones that were, you know, here's where you play, this is your role. But there's been a lot more cross-training over the last few years in soccer, instead of college soccer and pro soccer even changing. A lot of, you know, you want people that can play a bunch of positions, and particularly when they get to the college ranks. And both coaches we talked to mentioned that particularly, and I think you're seeing that here tonight particularly.
The value of being athletic is maybe higher than it's ever been in the college game, no doubt.
For sure. I mean, you know, discipline and having positions is great. But if you can play 5 positions, you make it where, hey, you play the position you're supposed to play 2 years in, and you can play another position until you get that opportunity. Somebody's down. That's definitely an opening night type thing. You mentioned the humidity earlier.
The calf is cramping.
There's nothing worse than that. And sometimes you feel helpless when you get to that point that you're just hoping that you can get through it, but you know you got to be very careful with that. Sometimes you can go on, but a lot of times your body just won't let you. And we talked about with Brewster that you know, she's finally getting to that healthy point. Hopefully this is just a you know, cramp for sure.
Tore ACL as a freshman, re-injured as a sophomore, only played in 12 matches. Now a little bit of hydration and stretching.
Yeah, and when it happens to one, you can see everybody else is like, yeah, I gotta make sure I gotta check
the heavies,
yeah.
check the quads,
Yeah, like
some hip flexor stretches.
Yeah, because sometimes it just comes, man. You know, I remember one I had where, you know, like everything's fine, and then just out of nowhere, oh, my leg gave out. You know, you just don't expect it to come sometimes.
That's like me in the bed when I wake up and a Charlie horse surprises me.
Oh man, I had one of those this morning, and it was the worst. For sure.
Alongside the former athlete at North Greenville, Brian Hand. I'm EvanBudrovich. Under 8 minutes to play in this season opener. Duke, to their credit, has handled the high pressure of the Mountaineers so well tonight.
Very well. And again, this is what Coach Church wanted. He wanted to have this competition to show what it was look like to play against a team that was really good, but also is going to test you in every area. And they've been up to the challenge and have been opportunistic and also had the Olympicos. So, you know, you've done it multiple different ways, and that's why you're up 2-0. But you want to do that early in the season, as we've talked about ad nauseum.
Good news, looks like Bailey Brewster is quite all right after that slight cramp a moment ago. As Bobby Boucher would say, Gatorade.
You definitely need that. That's people ask why Gatorade got so popular. Electrolytes, Powerade, whatever. You need those electrolytes, particularly.
And especially how humid and early it is in the year.
Oh, for sure.
You go from playing simulated preseason matches and shortened segments to really amping it up.
Water's often, but you know, and it's the best still. But Gatorade gives you that little oomph when you need it sometimes. So does Powerade or whatever of those types.
And you start to see the look in the face there of Bailey Brewster. She is powering through these last few minutes.
For sure.
We've all been there as athletes at one point or another.
Oh yeah. That wall hits you fast. And obviously, I mean the physical wall, that it hits you fast sometimes, but she's powering through, and you need to power through if you can. Because you're only going to get to that next wall by powering through the first one.
Ballaran with a nice pass. Heredia Beltran for goal off the crossbar. Whoa!
She's hitting the right post and now the crossbar. Great opportunity right there again. She's done
This
a little
match could easily be tied.
No doubt. Totally agree. By one person. And you can see that she kind of feels the same way. Look at it again. Did everything, hit it incredibly well. Again, great extension from Freeman. Just
She
like
said,
that.
well, Kat Rader had the exact same spot and bent it underneath the post.
Yep.
Oh, right off the crossbar, too. Dead center.
Yeah, we have another player down at the cramp.
Yeah, unfortunately, it's Bailey Brewster again.
Oh, man.
We saw that look in her face a moment ago. It was tough sledding.
And that's why I phrased it the way I said. You know, you want to try to get through it because you want to get in that shape that you need to be in. But when that cramp hits you and you can't go, you can't go. And it's important. And that's why athletic trainers and physios are so amazing and so critical to everything that's done with college student athletes.
Credit to Christy Hall and her staff. Here's what's coming up for the Blue Devils. USC Trojans next week, Wisconsin, and then things don't get any easier with a good power in the American and East Carolina, UNC Greensboro, and national power in Stanford. That's a nice schedule in the first month.
A very nice schedule. You mentioned you got 3 really good programs, 3 highly thought of, and then East Carolina and UNCG are really good programs, really, you know, that could test you for sure.
That's just in the first month of the season, and then conference play is right around the corner, September 17th.
Crazy.
Very early in the soccer slate.
When you think about it, that's a month from today.
With classes just beginning next week.
I mean, that's why I say it's crazy
in.
to think about it. It's August 17th. The season just started in a month. You're going to be playing ACC play. It's just, as I said, you practice all year for 3 months. You try to make the most of it. And, you know, hopefully, you know, they'll have a great, if you're a Duke fan, you want things to go well. And then you get to that point and you can start the way you want to start. But there's a lot of stuff to do before we get to that point.
And you think now, if you're Nikki Izzo Brown, you see that scoreboard at 2-0.
Yep.
And you wonder, a couple of chances from Heredia Beltran, and this match could easily be tied.
And she's played well. Heredia Beltran's been a difference maker for sure for West Virginia. Look at it right here. A nice house chance out of nothing. Volleys it well, gets over it, and just hits the right crossbar. And then again, or hits the right post, and then hits the crossbar right here. Just done everything but find the back of the net, but she's been a nuisance tonight against that Duke defense. She's been a really good player for West Virginia. We expected nothing less.
That's an all Big 12 talent. Second team all conference last year. Clearly had opportunities. So good news, Bailey Brewster back to her feet. She'll be subbed out. Olivia Migley will re-enter for these last 5 minutes. Keeping an eye on the athletic training staff. Christy Hall and her unit doing a nice job checking out Bailey over there.
Yeah, and that wasn't lip service. I was saying it's so critical, particularly this time of year. The athletic trainers play such a pivotal part in everything that happens.
That's a high cross. Whoa. Very dangerous right on that line for Leah Freeman.
It really was. It looked like it was.
She almost backed herself into the goal.
Yeah, no, I was thinking the same thing. It looked like it wasn't going to be challenging. I think she was kind of caught off guard how much more it kept coming towards the goal. But good job by Freeman at the end of the day to make the save.
I think that's some English on it.
Yeah, for sure.
Hold on a second here. Our head referee reminding Ballaran to keep her space. Nothing intentional there. She is drenched in sweat. Keeper, not as much.
Maybe not drenched in sweat, but I can guarantee you it's hot. Wearing the long sleeves.
She's sweating bullets underneath those gloves.
Yeah, no doubt. I
3 saves tonight for the Oregon transfer.
I was going to say they do a great job of kind of bringing that in with those gloves and those goalie jerseys. It kind of takes that perspiration with it with the thing. So it's, but it gets hot.
Had temperatures as high as 95 this week in Durham. It's been a hot, sticky, humid week. A lot of thunderstorms coming in. But good news tonight, we're all clear.
A lot of people in there trying to get those trees out of the way. Full credit to everybody working hard to get that kind of taken care of. That was pretty bad.
Ooh, a little collision there by the Duke sideline. Now West Virginia looking to press. Who touched that last? Oh, it is off Duke. Heredia Beltran now.
She's got to be careful. Like I said, she has a yellow card again. It wasn't her that started it, but
that was Royson shoving her back. Clock stops with 3:48 left.
You're talking to the wrong girl. It is.
Can't hear that tension starting to play up here. Let's see who starts this.
I kind of feel like that second came, but the first was kind of equal, I felt like.
It's like, hey, Dad, she did it. No, Dad, she did it.
But, you know, like when that first part, and then Royson, credit to Royson right there. She did a talk to the hand, but.
And now a tangle. Here's Heredia Beltran again.
Yeah, she's got to be careful, like I've said.
She's been an instigator tonight.
You don't want to take yourself out of the next game.
You don't want to get that red and cost you for the home opener against St. Francis. I'll tell you, this has a postseason feel to it with the intensity. A couple of clear shots on target for West Virginia. This could easily be a one-goal game, maybe even a tied-up matchup.
Yeah, like I said, I wasn't saying that she's doing anything bad, but it's just you've got to be careful. Don't put yourself in the situation to take yourself out of a game that's not even played yet. That's what I always try to remind players.
There's Mia Minestrella, the true freshman. One-on-one. And Onks deflects it wide. She was an alternate for the US 20 Women's World Cup squad last year and immediately contributing in day one for Duke.
Big right here, guys. Let's go.
Yeah, it's impressive how many players, you know, have been part of the national team program or playing at a high level in the summer leagues and different things. Both of these teams have, you know, international players. It's just impressive to see the depth that's come to both of these programs.
There's El Piper to serve it in. Massey rises, punches it loose. Boy, the last corner, same spot. It led to a goal for Duke. This time it leads to a goal kick.
Yeah, credit to Duke. They obviously saw something on film because they've hit that 3 times now, and you know, one led to a goal. But you know, that was obviously something that they felt like they could geo-target, and they've been able to opportunistically make one of them a goal.
But did you put a Snapchat filter around that geo-target? That's the question.
I was thinking that in my head. It's the right word, but I was thinking that in my head that it's funny that social media makes that it go that way.
It'd be the Cat Raider box tonight.
Yeah.
Her bending brilliance. Might be on SportsCenter.
Should be. I mean, I told you off air that I thought that should be on SportsCenter, and it should be. Particularly that slow-mo shot that the crew got. That's beautifully done.
That's our replay lead, Will Black,
yeah,
queuing it up tonight.
Yeah, doing a great job. This crew's amazing.
Thanks to our entire production staff. Season opener. As AJ Rodriguez draws a foul. A little bit of bump and run there with Watkins.
And this is a crew that, you know, would even give you the shirt off their back. So it's just, they definitely have done a little bit of everything.
Now you say that. They actually did give the shirt off their back for you tonight.
Yeah, the world didn't need to know that as we have AJ Rodriguez is down. But yeah, it's the truth.
I think AJ's calf is starting to tighten up.
You're going to see this over the next week or two until everybody, and even if they're in shape at practice, there's a difference, like I talked about earlier, when you get to gain speed. And then sometimes it just hits you, no matter how much you've done, you know, it just hits you that, you know, the cramps come, even when you're in elite fitness.
Gabby Lampardi is ready, and now a sub is being asked to come on with the athletic trainer as well. That's Lindsay Brinza, the WVU staff. And Lindsay helps AJ off the pitch.
Into the game for West Virginia, number 8, Gabby Lampardi.
cleared out for the moment. Now deflected. Promising chance. Oh, missed. Taylor White on the doorstep.
Really nice opportunity for West Virginia. Just couldn't get it done.
This could have been 2-1 in a second.
They've had chances tonight that just haven't been able to connect. I was about to say, you want to protect the shutout if you're Duke, and that was just a miss, to be honest with you. That's one she'll be dreaming about tonight. When you're a striker or you're up front and you miss those are you remember those more sometimes than the ones that you made.
Final 30 seconds as Duke looks to even the all-time series with West Virginia. Had a ton of chances, 8 shots on target between these two clubs. Highly offensive season opener.
Yeah, it's been fun to watch for sure. We talked about anything could happen, and anything has happened tonight. We've had sirens, we've had goals, and it's been fantastic to watch.
6, 5, 4.
The Duke Blue Devils, number 4 team in the country, take home another season opening win, 6 straight under Coach Robbie Church, as the Blue Devils dispose of West Virginia. Entertaining match tonight with some tournament clubs from last year, 2-0. And in the process, the Duke Blue Devils, they make some history. 450th win in the program, joining some greats in the ACC. The 4th school in the conference to win Big 450. What a performance by Duke tonight.
A great opener. We expected it to be fun. We had a magnificent goal, we had an opportunistic goal, and we had a Duke win, and they're off to a great start. Is the 4th ranked team in the country.
For our talented staff, welcome back to college soccer. A great night led by Kat Rader, the sophomore standout. For Brian Hand, I'm EvanBudrovich. A 2-0 win for Duke. Expect to see these teams in the tournament coming up, but for us, we say good night. This is a presentation of ESPN.